The Ten Commandments, the Decalogue, appears in two different sections of the Torah. It appears first in the book of Exodus, and then it appears again in the book of Deuteronomy in Parshat Va'et Hanan. And there are various differences in the wording of the Ten Commandments. Some of these wording variations are small, but some of them are quite significant. And scholars have noted these differences and studied these differences and have come to the conclusion that the version in Exodus appears to be earlier, on the whole, than the version in Parshat Va'et Hanan, the version in Deuteronomy. One of the aspects of these changes that I'd like to discuss is the covet prohibition. Lo tachmod, thou shalt not covet. This appears in two different formulations. In the Exodus version, we read, Lo tachmod beit re'echa, do not covet the household of your neighbor, and then a list of what is in the household that you shall not covet. Lo tachmod eshet re'echa, va'avdo, va'amato, v'sharo, v'chamoro, v'chol asher l're'echa. That means don't covet your friend's wife, his servant, his maidservant, his ox, and his donkey. Significantly, in Deuteronomy, the text which scholars consider to be later, the version is somewhat different. There we read, first, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and only after that, thou shalt not covet the household of your neighbor. And in the details of the household of your neighbor, we find your servants, your animals, the possessions, but never any hint of the wife, because that was in the previous prohibition. So what is the significance of this difference in formulation? Most scholars see here, in the later version, a reflection of a heightened new sense of the special status and independent status of the woman. Whereas in the version in Exodus, the wife was considered part of the household, and so you shall not covet the household of your neighbor, which would include animals, servants, and wife. In the Deuteronomic version, the later text, we have an appreciation of the fact that the woman is not a possession of her husband. Well, shall not covet the woman as a separate category. And only after that, an additional, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's possessions, which do not include his wife. What we see then is how the sacred text of the Decalogue, while being preserved, also goes through changes. The text is changed, is amended, is slightly altered in order to express an evolving sense of new morality, a new appreciation for the sacredness and the independent worth of the woman.